All right, Mr. Herky. Kevin Snyder here. Hope everything is well. So I got my persuasive speech for you here. And I'm going to try and just get bang this out real quick and be on my way. So I'm obviously talking to a college student audience right now, so bear with me. All right, so here we go. So, who here thinks that the best part of college life is the ability to go out and socialize with friends and have a good time partying or doing whatever it may be? So, I would imagine that most of you would agree with that statement and really love the party. So, besides parties themselves and bar visits, really, and doing that kind of thing, there's really only one other place that you can go to get your social fix that I'm talking about, and that is High Point Solutions Stadium. And I know a lot of people might laugh at that statement, but here's my reasoning. And here's why I'm persuading you and urging you all to attend a Rutgers football game, if you don't already, obviously. So, I'm going to do this because, to be blunt, our student section and our student attendance, as well as student sections around the country, they've really not been going to football games, and they've been attendance has been down, and it's very significant. And that lack of attendance has done really three things that I'll elaborate on. But first is it's hurt the football program because of a lack of support. And that's first. Second, it's hurt the school itself. It's hurt the university, and I'll elaborate on that in a little bit. You'll understand more. And third, it's hurt the revenue that the school is bringing in. And it really hurts the athletic department. I'll also elaborate on that in a little bit as well. So, how do we fix the problem? The obvious, simple answer is to have more students come to the games. And here's the reasons why I think that people should come to the games and students should come to the games in particular. First is in the football program. The lack of student attendance, it really looks bad because there's a ton of open seats and it's really not that good of a look. And when the team comes out of the locker room, when they're all fired up for the start of the game and they see relatively empty seats, like big sections of emptiness, it's deflating and it really kills the emotion that we have. And you just come out and you're like, wow, we got all, we really got ready to play, and this is the kind of, turnout we have for this game. So that lack of student support hurts recruiting as well. So obviously first you have you're deflated on the field, and you don't feel like you have as much support, but then as you start to play, you start looking at recruiting. Kids come to these games from high school when they're getting recruited by our teams, and they look and they see a lack of students in the stands, and they think, wow, why would I want to come here? And I agree. Why would a high school student or a high school football player want to come to a place that doesn't have fans in the stands, and especially doesn't have a student section worth noting in the stands? And that really hurts recruiting as well. So those are just two football examples. And now we're going to kind of piggyback that and go on to another type of deal, which is first we're just going to talk about the university itself, Rutgers University. And basically, how it comes down to is if you can field a winning team, your school is going to get more national exposure. And when you have more national exposure, you get on ESPN, that kind of thing, you get on the news. That makes people come to your school like a magnet. Why wouldn't anybody who sees Rutgers on TV say, "Oh my goodness, let's go see what Rutgers has to offer"? So I went on Freakonomics.com, and they posted an article that kind of outlined this kind of the point I'm making right now, which says that if teams win 75% of their games, the applications to their school increase by 5%, which is a hefty number, I think, if you just have a winning football team. The in-school enrollment increases by 3%. So that's also huge. You get more people from New Jersey who really never thought about coming to Rutgers are now going to come to Rutgers because of winning football game and because there's exposure. It kind of brings that in. And then last but not least, students with higher SAT scores that test in the upper, I think, 80 percentile, I think it said, now they want to come, and that goes up by 1%. So that's also helping your university to strive for greater things in the future. But it all starts with the students and people showing up at the game and giving the support that the football team needs. And my last point that I'm going to make, I know it's the one thing people don't want to hear about, but it comes down to revenue. And basically, starting next year at Rutgers, it's going to be $15 per home game for students to show up. Now, obviously, that's not ideal, but at the same time, there's only about 5 home games a year, so it's not going to break the bank. So basically, what I'm saying is the amount of revenue alone from students showing up is going to be very substantial, something we never had before. And on top of that, you get all the food and the drinks and everything you buy that's revenue that helps out the football program as well. Sorry here. Gotta fix something. Alright. And then last but not least, with the student support, like I said earlier, comes wins, right? Because we have the support, we have the energy, and it's kind of like a loop. You give us energy, we give you the energy back, and it just continues to build. And that brings on wins, and then those wins have shown to bring more donors. And the donors are really the big money people that allow our athletic department, not just the football department, but the whole athletic department to strive for greater things because they bring in a ton of money. So those are kind of the 3 big points on why I believe people should show up, and especially students should show up to our football games. So basically, with not many students, this is kind of going back to the initial point, you don't get that really good feel. You have a dull and lifeless pregame. You don't have much tailgating outside of outside the stadium before the game, and you just get kind of older folks and a lack of enthusiasm, a lack of spirit in the stands. Not to mention the eyesore of just empty seats. And really, like I said, nothing's more depressing than coming out to a stadium with empty seats and an empty student section, because that's the number one thing you play for. You play for the students that show up and want to cheer you on because those are your classmates. But if you do show up, you can create that party-like atmosphere that every college student's craving, and I know every student does. Everyone loves the party. Everyone loves that type of atmosphere that you can feel good about. So what do? You go, you can drink alcohol maybe, if you're of age, soda, whatever it might be. You can eat food, listen to music, walk around, and you can just show your school spirit with your friends, with your classmates, with all the other alumni, whoever may be there. And you create that real game day atmosphere, and that brings energy. And then you go into the stadium and you can scream and yell and say whatever you want in support of your team and in support of your university. And something like that, I just think I would never want to miss out on, because that's like a party right there. That's a party that you'll never get just being on College Avenue. You can't get that anywhere else. So basically, to sum things up, just by showing up and supporting, you can help your football team, you can help your university, and you can help bring in a lot of revenue that your school never had. And all I need you to do is just come out and have an all-day party. That's it. It's just a party. You don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. You just show up, have a good time, party it up with your friends and your peers, and all your other fellow Rutgers fans, and just party it up. That's all I ask you to do. And you know what? I think you'll have a great time doing it, and I think that you'll really we'll appreciate you, obviously, because we'll play harder when we have more people in the stands. So that's my speech. That's my little pitch to you, and I hope to see you next fall. And that's it from me, Mr. Herky.